Okay, YouTube, we're back. I'm kind of in my head about my microphone right now because I have an SM7B literally right behind me, which is a much nicer microphone than this. But I didn't really want to move it the 3 feet that exists between me and said mic right now every time I record because I'm having problems getting myself to record. And I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for myself so I have no excuses. So we're using a 58. We're just gonna deal. Also feeling self-conscious about these mega eyelashes that I have going on right now. I had a shoot this week, a photo shoot, and I went to get lashes done from a Groupon, which is a choice. It's definitely a choice. And the woman who did my lashes, she was so sweet. It was in her house. It was like giving somebody's grandma. She was actually a foster mom and she had a foster kid in there, and she was telling me all these really beautiful, touching stories of her tender, tender heart as she was doing my lashes. And if you ever get your lashes done, you know it's like a full trust process where you have to be completely surrendered because you can't see anything and you're just sitting there while they're putting these on and you're just hoping that they look good. And then when she gave me the little mirror, I had the little fan on them, and she gave me the little mirror, and I opened my eyes and I saw these caterpillars on my eyes. And of course, me being me, I was like, they're so great. I love them. And then I tipped her because tender, tender heart, sweet, sweet woman, terrible lashes, but we're working with it. But you can't really like pull them off. They're just kind of on there now. So I'm just living like this and embracing the fact that everyone sees me and thinks that this is the kind of lashes that I chose for myself. But here we are. They're even creating shadows in this lighting, but go with me with my lashes. I actually had something helpful and meaningful to say today. I didn't want to just ramble about these stories, so thank you for sticking with me. I wanted to get back into the YouTube thing. It's been on my mind for a while, and doing these talking videos and sharing my thoughts and stories about the world is something that I do really, really enjoy doing. And I've been traveling a lot and going through a lot of changes and all kinds of stuff, and I'm finally in a space, my own space, where I have no distractions and no one to interrupt or make noise or keep me from doing this. And so I'm really excited to jump back in and keep bringing these videos to you, where there'll be a combination of sharing music and sharing my thoughts about things and things that have helped me and what's going on in my world, and hopefully some things that can bring you some peace and comfort and some wisdom into your life, and it can be something that you find some joy in. So thank you for being here with me today. The thing that I wanted to share about today that's been on my mind a lot is observing this idea that's connected to scarcity that happens when we think that things are running out or things are going to get worse than they presently are. And I've been hearing so much lately about like recessions and the economy crashing and just like horrible things ahead, specifically in the realm of finances. And like, as I'm in a zone where I'm really building and focused and hustling and growing my career and trying to stay hopeful, it can be a challenge sometimes to stay in a place of positivity and hope when it feels like there's so much negativity in the narratives that are going on all around. And I'm a metaphor queen. Like, if you've hung around my content, if you've seen my TikToks and my YouTube videos, you know that I love a good metaphor. And a lot of times in life when I'm going around and like certain things happen, it's really what helps me understand the concepts and principles of life itself and how this game that we're in works. And I was driving back from Colorado, where I'm from and where my family is and where I've been spending some time, and I was on the road trip back to LA, and I drive an electric car. And so my car tells me like how much battery I have and how much battery I'll have when I get to the charge station, and like calculates all of that stuff. But it's not the most accurate. It like fluctuates and changes a little bit. It really keeps you on your toes. And so on a road trip with an electric car, which I would not recommend, to be honest, but this is the life that we're living, based on the choices that I've made, which is great. But we're on this road trip with my electric car, and as I'm watching, I'm like calculating everything in. I've done this drive from Denver to LA many times. I'm very familiar with this drive, and there's this stretch where there's like nothing for like almost 2 hours, like not a gas station, no charge stations, just nothing. And the first time when I made this drive, when I moved to LA, when I was literally like 20 years old, I remember my dad warning me in that dad tone, like, be careful, make sure you get gas before you get to that stretch. Like, you don't want to get stuck there. And so it's just one of those parent things that's just like lingered in my head ever since. And so I'm always thinking about it. And so I was like, okay, I gotta charge to 100 before I go through this stretch. And as I'm driving, it's like starts with saying I'm gonna get to the next place at like 10%. I'm like, 10%, okay. It's okay. We'll work with that. But then as I'm driving, it's going lower. It hits 9, it hits 8, it hits 7. And I'm doing some quick maths in my head, and I'm like, we're not going to make it at this rate. If this thing keeps going down, like, I'm going to hit 0, I'm going to get stranded. This is just not going to be good at all. So immediately the panic sets in, right? Of like, I am running out of battery. And so as I'm going, I'm like turning the air off, I'm turning the music off, I'm doing everything to conserve, and it starts fluctuating, and then it starts going back up again, and then it's going down, and it's going up, and my emotions are just riding the waves of this battery going up and down. And eventually it starts like kind of being steady and like creeping its way back up, and I start feeling like we're gonna be okay. And as I was observing my emotional reactions to watching this, it was so informative to me about how lack and scarcity is way less about our current experiences and so much more about what we believe about the future and where we're headed. So no matter how much money I have in my bank account or what's going on today, like I might have everything I need today. I have food in my fridge. I am able to eat. I have a place to sleep. I'm not homeless. Like I have everything I need. But if I feel like there's impending doom coming, like my bank account is going down and we're going to run out and there's this recession coming that everyone's talking about, the panic starts to set in and that survival instinct kicks in. And that's all on the belief that what I have currently is limited and it's going to run out. And so I've been contemplating this aspect of abundance a lot lately around the fact that like when we talk about abundance, we're not just talking about like what we actually have in this moment. We're talking about this belief that more is coming, that more is on the way, that I know that I'm going to be taken care of, and that no matter what my current circumstances are, if I have what I need in the present moment, knowing that I'm not going to run out, that more money is going to come, more opportunity is going to come if I keep showing up and I keep listening and I keep being devoted to my dharma and what I'm here to do in the world to be of service, I'm going to be taken care of. And this belief in that is what creates that peace of mind that allows me to receive and ride those waves of when things go down and when things go up, and just understand that that's part of the process, but underneath it all, knowing that I'm not going to run out. So if I shift that mindset from like looking at my bank account, for example, if I'm looking at my bank account and I think this number is going down and at this rate, I'm going to hit 0. That creates that feeling of scarcity in my body, right? But if I believe that this is growing, like my bank account's growing, more money is coming and it's only going up, then I feel that sense of security, right? But that's all just the story I'm telling myself about where we're headed and what's coming next. So this is something I've really been focusing on lately, is waking up every day, reminding myself and affirming myself that more is coming, that we're on the ups, that it's only going to get better from here in every single way because of all the potential that I have and all the power that I have to create the reality that I want. And I'm doing everything I can to show up every day to make that happen. And I can trust that more is on its way. And this is truly what I feel like it is to be in an abundance mindset. It's not like lying to yourself. Like, I feel like a lot of times people misunderstand affirmations and like wealth affirmations and all that stuff of like, I'm telling myself that I'm a billionaire right now and like I really have to believe it. Like, you're not stupid. You're not trying to trick yourself into believing that you're living in some delusion and now you're like wandering around the world in this fantasy land of like, yes, I'm a billionaire in my mind. Like, that's not what it's about. It's like, do you believe in your potential and your power to stay in such a high frequency that it just attracts good things, and those good things are coming no matter what your current circumstances are, that you're on the come up, that you're on the rise? Like, people have been asking me how I'm doing lately, and honestly, things have been a bit challenging. Like, it's not the most abundant and lucrative and amazing time of my life where I'm just like chilling in my mansion and like at the peak of my career, and like I'm not there. I'm still very much on the hustle and the grind and the come up. And I feel like if I believed that this was it and it was only going to get worse from here, I would be so down on myself every day. I would get depressed and I would just give up. But the thing that keeps me going and really can appreciate this season for what it is knowing that things are going to get so much better, and knowing that I'm building something that's going to keep going and it's going to keep bringing magic and joy and love into my life in all the ways. So that's just something I've been thinking about lately. And I want to share more like this because it feels really good. So I'm going to, as I start having these little thoughts and notice things about my world and my little metaphors and pieces of wisdom that heal my heart and help my soul as I go along this crazy journey that is life, that just seems to keep getting crazier. Honestly, it's wild times out there. So really, I just want to create a little space where we can feel like safe and comfortable, and we can relate and hang out and experience some thoughts and feelings and humor of stuff that's been making me feel better. So thank you for being here, and I'm excited to share more. Sending you love.